Hi, welcome to the Dance Brain, where we talk about the beauty of partner dance. Cheers. I am your host, Amber Donnelly, and today we have a very special guest, the one, the only, Jason Fong.
Hello.
How does it feel being in the hot seat?
Feels different. It feels like a lot of pressure. I might be the worst guest of the podcast, and you might be the best host of the podcast. So
oh shit,
we'll
the
see how it goes.
competition is on.
Yeah,
You're fighting for worst guest. I'm fighting for best host.
Yep.
Okay, great. No pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Okay, well, you know what, Jason? I think we should just get right into it. We have to start with your origin story, right? Okay, that's how we always start. So, like, what brought you to dance? Like, how old were you when you first started dancing?
Yeah, my dance superhero origin story.
Yes. Yeah, where'd you come from?
What spider bit me?
What planet did you escape from?
So I first started dancing probably about a decade ago.
Okay.
I wanted to learn a new sport. I was living in San Francisco at the time, and I was open to any activity. And one day I saw these people dancing, swing dancing at Lindy the Park in Golden Gate Park.
Oh, cute.
And it was a free outdoor event where people gather, they have a free class, and then they social afterwards. And I was like, what is this? I've never heard of this. The music's great, people are having fun. And then afterwards, when I came back home, I went to YouTube and researched what the event was, and then went down like a YouTube rabbit hole of what the dance was and the history and the music, and that sparked me to take my first class in Lindy Hop. And that's where my journey started.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so you started in Lindy Hop.
Yeah.
On that first night that you were there, did you dance like the first night?
I don't think I did.
Okay,
I was
you
scared.
just observed.
I was scared. I was a little shy. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't take the class.
Okay.
But I just was captivated by the energy, the people who were having fun, and they were moving, they were listening to each other, they were doing this skill that they seemed to perfect over thousands and thousands of hours, and I wanted to be like them. So they inspired me.
That's amazing. Okay, so Lindy Hop first, and then, like, where did that take you? Because you don't just do Lindy Hop, you do many different dances.
So I started taking Lindy Hop classes at Cat's Corner in San Francisco, and then did that for a bit, and then transitioned to do some blues and fusion in San Francisco as well. The event was called Shades of Blues and Shades of Fusion.
Yeah.
And I learned fusion and blues at the same time, and that was fascinating. That kind of exposed me to different types of music and different types of connection, and I was really captivated by the freedom and the improvisation that those dances allowed. And then after that, I tried salsa for a bit, but then didn't really gel with it as much because the scene at the time when I took classes and went to socials wasn't very welcoming. And it was in a club, and it was dark, lots of people, crowded. So like, I don't know. It was just a little bit too much for me at the time.
Okay.
And then when I moved to LA, which was about a decade ago, I explored other dances. So tango, urban kiz, zouk, West Coast swing, little bachata.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky to been able to sample lots of different dances.
You overcame that sort of like intimidation by one dance style and kind of rerouted to like, okay, but there are others that I'll probably still like. Okay, I love that. Yeah, you like conquered it. So now now that you've like done all these different types of dances, do you salsa now, or are you still like, no thanks?
I don't salsa currently.
Okay.
It's not because I don't like the dance. It's because I enjoy the current dances that I'm doing right now, and I don't have the time. Salsa is amazing, and I love the music, the speed, the energy, but sadly they're only 24 hours in a day, and I can't do all the dances. So eventually maybe I'll get into salsa, but right now I'm kind of fixated on learning West Coast swing and zouk.
Okay.
And then I run a fusion event as well, and do urban kids here and there. So I sample and I dabble wherever I can, whenever the events allow themselves to be part of my schedule, and I can do them.
Okay, that's a great segue, because like you had your start, but like now you're an organizer of fusion dance events. Now we're getting into micro events as well. Why did you start FusionVibe?
So FusionVibe, for those who don't know, is a fusion event in LA. I started the event after COVID, and there weren't a lot of events in LA specifically for fusion after COVID. And I said to myself, well, I know a great venue that could host an event. I know enough people who would want more events. I know enough teachers who can teach at the event. And I said to myself, why don't I just host an event and see what happens? So I hosted an event randomly, maybe 3 Aprils ago, and over 100 people showed up, and it was amazing.
Wow.
And I really got a lot of great feedback from people about how cool the vibe was, and thanking me for my efforts, and had the event at that small space for a year or so, and then moved to a bigger space that is really amazing, and it's able to have a bigger capacity and house and host live events where I have live singers and live performers, and it's really, really amazing. And I really enjoy organizing, because it's basically organizing a party where your friends and strangers get to come and dance and have an experience. So that's the origin of FusionVibe.
Okay, so that's why you did it. You wanted to have like a space.
Yeah.
You saw like an opening, and you're like, I'm ready to fill it.
Yeah.
And then you took it like a step further, you know, as it's been like obviously growing. I mean, you had an amazing start. Having 100 people show up at your first event, like, is, I feel like, wonderful, right? Like every organizer's dream, you know. How much of your time / like resources do you think goes into running this monthly, right now it's monthly, event? Is it like a full-time job?
I'd say it's a couple hours a month right now.
Okay, that's
so
crazy.
But it's a couple hours like cumulatively. So if you think about it, you start maybe a month ahead of the actual event, where you reach out to people to ask if they want to DJ or teach, and then following up and getting information, making sure that they're on page with the rate and their bio and photos for promotion and marketing, making sure that the venue's paid for, and then also finding the volunteers who help at the door and set up and clean up. So it's a lot of correspondence, like messaging people and making sure that people are reminded about when something's happening, and also a lot of marketing, where you're posting on social media about the event to make sure people know about it, because in LA there's a lot of things to do on a Saturday night.
Yes.
There's so many things to do.
Yes.
Including staying home, doing nothing, quote unquote.
Which is
a great option.
Yeah, a great option.
So having great marketing, whether that's exciting material that you post, whether the poster looks cool, or there's artists, DJs, teachers who people want to see, just making sure that they're aware of those things is important. So marketing is super important, especially in LA, in a big market where they can go to any dance event that they want to on a Saturday night. They can go to a movie, they can go to the beach, they can go to a barbecue,
Yeah.
they can do lots of things,
Yeah.
including doing nothing.
Yeah.
So just being on top of marketing in terms of finding ways to kind of pace out when you do the marketing. All in all, in terms of all the hours, it's about a couple hours a month.
Okay.
And then during the day, it's about maybe an hour or two before the event, before people show up to kind of set up the venue, make sure the
Right.
waters are all filled up, and then probably an hour afterwards. So
Yeah.
a couple hours.
Okay. Okay, but like doable where you're able to like have your life and
Yeah.
also like put the time required to make it like, successful into it. So, I mean, it sounds you've been doing it for so long, and it sounds like you have it kind of on lock. Where like you know what people want, you know what you're doing, and it doesn't take too much of your time because you like have it figured out. Is there anything about like being an organizer, like having your own event that scares you? Or like intimidates you, that you're like worried about beforehand? Like, is there anything about it that like gets you a little bit?
I would say there are things that worry me, but they worry me for about like a second.
Okay.
Because I feel like I have solutions, or I have the mental capacity to like deal with it and go with the flow. Maybe that's my personality, but
Or being a dancer.
yeah. So say like a DJ doesn't show up, or a teacher doesn't show up, or say someone hurts themselves on the floor, or a police presence shows up at the event, which happened at my event one time.
Okay.
It wasn't the event's fault. They were just checking in because there were some rowdy teenagers throwing fireworks during 4th of July around the event, and they checked in on me just to make sure that things were okay. So there are a lot of things that happen when running an event that are out of your control, that you kind of don't plan for, but that's kind of exciting too. And I feel like I have enough mental capacity, experience to kind of deal with it.
Right.
But if not, I have people, friends, peers, other organizers who can help me and figure out the best solution to what to do if some unforeseen action or incident happens.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thrill of organizing. I use this analogy a lot, where running a dance social is like running a Broadway play every single month, where you know what the players are, you know what the structure of the night will be, but you don't know how the execution of that will happen. Will the teacher be late? Will there not be enough leads during that night or follows? How will that affect the day? Will it be raining? That will affect things as well.
Yeah.
How do you make sure everyone is having a great night? And there are different people who show up every night in every event. So it's an organic kind of challenge that happens all the time, but it's exciting, and I enjoy going with the flow and trying to solve the problems that may arise during event planning.
Okay. So you're like, it's a little bit thrilling, not too stressful,
Yeah.
really. Yeah. Okay. Because you're a pro. You know what you're doing. You know kind of how to handle the situations and stuff.
But if I don't know the answer, I have people, advisors, who I can ask, hey, what should we do here?
Like a community to like support you.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, like, I feel like a lot of the time, having those like volunteers that you're talking about who like show up early, stay late to kind of like help, and I'm sure like you develop a relationship with them, gives you a sense of like support that maybe like makes it less stressful.
Yeah. There's a lot of peers and friends who I rely on for advice, for their explicit, biased kind of advice on what my question is.
Yeah.
So for example, just as an example, I've had you sing at my event. Before reaching out to you, I asked my advisors, people who I I value their opinion. Hey, is this a good idea? Will people want to dance to Amber and her singing?
Yeah.
What would the logistics be? When should it happen? How many songs?
Okay.
Would it enhance the experience or would it not? So these are things that I think about myself, but then I ask other people because it's good to have different perspective on an idea,
Right.
just so that I'm not doing things in a vacuum.
Because it's a community event, you want to like know what the community maybe has to say. And like obviously it can't be open to everyone because you don't want everyone's opinion necessarily like in the creation of, and you want your vision, when you want your vision to come to life. But yeah, like those trusted people's opinions, I'm sure like can really reassure you like one way or another, you know?
Yeah.
No, I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And that adds to like the magic of it, right? Like I was gonna ask you, like, what do you think the magic of, because like you said, people come to your event and it's very successful. Like, what do you think the magic is that makes it FusionVibe?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
The magic.
Yeah.
What makes it special?
Yeah, why do people, you know, get excited, come back? Like a lot of people are really into your event. Like, what makes it?
I think just all the elements add up to become a great event where the location's great, the venue's amazing, one of a kind.
Yes.
The exposure to new dance styles for the teachers is good, where I consistently try to have a different dance style at the event for classes. Makes it different.
Huge.
I try to curate DJs as much as I can, and I think because there's a consistency and a clarity of the vision that I have been able to execute throughout the months, people kind of are used to, oh, I know Jason puts on this type of event.
Yeah.
And it may not be for everybody, but for those who enjoy what I are able to put on, they believe in it, they trust it, and they support it. So I think because there's like a specific vision that is executed, and it kind of hopefully delivers almost every time, then people know what to expect.
Yeah.
And it's exciting for me to think about ideas of how can I bring more artists to the community where they have a very singular experience, whether that's having a live singer or a live pianist play,
that was last
or
time.
have a performance where it inspires the dancers to kind of explore that specific style of dance. So I think it's just all the elements just add up to where the event is very exciting and innovative, but also I'm biased because it's my event. So I may not have the most objective view on it because it's my vision and I'm able to execute my vision.
Yeah.
But because there's enough people who tell me that the event is pretty amazing, then I keep doing it.
I would say one of the things you brought up literally is, I think it's to me so huge because fusion dance is a fusion of a bunch of different dance styles, and your venue does have, the lessons aren't fusion lessons every time. I remember I was at a Zouk lesson the other month, you know, and I know that you've done like his, and you know what I mean? Like you bring in the other types of dance that are supposed to be influencing the fusion dance of it. So yes, like of course I know you do like fusion classes and you also do micro classes, but for me, I remember like when I saw that it was a Zouk class ahead of time, I was like, oh my God, I have to be there for the lesson. I like have just been getting into Zouk and I think that it's so cool. You know, I think that's just what makes the dancers better. I think that it's a challenge, but it's accessible because it's beginner in all these different styles. And then the rest of the night, they have something new to try. You know, I think that that's very cool and very exciting, and you don't see a lot of organizers doing their events that way, and Fusion is a great platform for that type of diversity, you know, like a little taste of everything. I think it's really cool. Something else that is a very organizer to organizer thing is theme or no theme. What do you think? Like, what's your hot take on themes?
Themes are kind of nuanced, where you don't want to have too many themes.
Okay.
You don't want to have themes that seem random. But
Okay.
I feel like overall themes are good to have, where if people want to be a part of the theme, they can, but if they don't really need to be a part of the theme. So right now, this year, the themes that I've been doing is color, because color is easy.
Yeah.
Because you either have red and want to wear red during that event, or you don't.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
But then obviously there are obvious themes, like there's an event on 4th of July. Obviously, naturally, you want to do a 4th of July themed event.
Sure.
And Halloween, Christmas,
Yeah.
the holidays.
Halloween ones are the best.
Yeah, those are obvious times to do themes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think some people can feel fatigue, where it's like, say you do like a mermaid theme. Maybe a little obscure, unless the event is by a beach or there's a DJ named Mermaid or something. But it's tough. What do you think about themes? Do you like it? Do you enjoy? Do you participate?
I kind of feel, I mean, when I do participate, I try to participate in the theme, especially if I'm DJing the event. If they have a theme, it almost makes it easier for me to like curate a playlist, because I'm like, oh, well, I have something to like start with other than just like what music I'm really into right now, you know? And sometimes I do just want to play the music that I'm into right now. But, you know, especially like when you're doing when you're going to so many events, or you're DJing at so many events, it's kind of like, oh, sweet, the theme is blue. A lot of songs have like blue in the title and the lyrics or whatever. I find them to be beneficial, but I do resonate with what you said about the fatigue, where I think that, yeah, you want to be intentional with the theme, and the problem is that if the theme doesn't hit, like you say the theme is blue and then no one shows up in blue, or like the DJ doesn't play songs like blue resonate, you know, like it could be then a weird thing, I guess. Like, I don't know, like not necessarily like unsuccessful, but like unimpactful, and then it feels less exciting and fun. Like the way that I'm like, oh my God, Halloween Fusion events, so fun. Everyone dresses up, like the music like a little creepy. It's fun, you know, but you don't want to, I don't know. Yeah, it's like it's a weird thing where like some events don't ever have themes. Some always have themes.
Yeah.
And some people are really into it, some people are really not. I just wanted to know what your opinion was. Because like, I don't think there's a right or wrong. I just think it's like what you want.
Yeah, it's about the event's organizer's preference. They don't need to do it. It may be a hassle to change the poster to make it Hawaiian theme, and if it's Hawaiian theme, then you have to add decor and flowers at the event, and maybe serve pineapple juice and have a ukulele play during the breaks or whatever. So it can be extra work, but also there's some organizers who really love themes and really want to go all out. So
and then when they do all of that, it's so fun, right? Like yeah, like if they did have a ukulele player in there, like how fun is that? Okay, yeah. To be determined by you, theme or no theme, link in the comments.
Yeah.
So then, like, another matter of opinion, do you have like any sort of like basics, like do's and don'ts that you feel strongly about? Like, we can go anywhere on the theme, but like, are there some things that you're like, for either like it be something in the realm of dance etiquette, dance events, how they're done, or how you dance, even like more specifically, what's your ick? Like, what's your like dance ick? And then what's your dance like obsession?
Pet peeve?
Sure.
An obsession?
Yeah.
Dance pet peeve. I feel like the big pet peeve is not treating people like people and judging them based on their skill level or their status, perceived status, and not just treating them like people. Just because someone's a beginner or you may not want to dance with that person for whatever reason doesn't mean you have to be impolite to them or not talk to them or not be courteous to them. I also feel like if there are people who aren't curious about learning and don't take classes, it's kind of frustrating in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I know classes take money, they take time. Not everyone has those resources at their disposal. But for people who aren't necessarily investing in their dancing themselves,
Right.
It shows, number one, but two, it kind of makes the community not as skillful.
Is it one of those things where it's like you're only as strong as your weakest link?
Maybe, but the new dancers who are just new to the dance, they have an excuse because they're new.
Yeah.
But for those who are veterans who don't necessarily invest in their dance and are a little complacent, that's okay too, to be complacent, but I feel like there's always a way to improve your dancing.
Yeah.
There's always a way to improve your ability to be a part of the community.
Yeah.
If you want to be in the dance community, you have to be part of the community. And what does that mean? That means investing in the community, investing in yourself, being someone who can lift up others and lift up yourself in terms of your skill level. So maybe I'm being a little bit idealistic and people won't like what I'm saying, but I think there's a complacency that happens for veteran dancers who don't want to learn anymore or aren't curious about other people who may not be a good dancer.
Yeah.
Because they only want to dance with cool people or the experienced people.
Yeah.
So I think the perceived status on people is kind of a thing that makes me ick, where, oh, you're only as valuable to me as your skill level or your status in the scene.
Yeah.
Where it's just dancing. It's a community. We're all people.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should all be treated fairly, if that makes sense.
I do think that makes sense. Honestly, you said that, I think, really, really well. Because, yeah, like, obviously it's a, community thing. Like, it's open to everyone. It's very welcoming. However, you do then want there to be some sort of investment given when, like, you're a part of the community. Like, being the type of person you would want to encounter, and like, your gift back is like engaging with purpose. I think that's honestly like really deep. Yeah.
It's like, if you only take and you're part of the community, which is okay because babies only take, right?
Yeah.
But those with the capacity to give who don't give, that's where it's like, I may be being too philosophical here, and it's not always one-to-one.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is a, I wouldn't say selfishness, because we're all selfish to a certain degree. Like, I'm selfish, you're selfish.
Me too, yeah. I'm super selfish.
But we all need to be selfish to a certain degree, because we want ourselves to be better, so that we have better experiences for ourselves and for other people. And what does that mean for a dance community? Well, it's a dance community. So we'll talk about the community stuff first. Like, what does it mean to be part of a good community? It means good communication. It means boundaries. It means being invested in the people. It means giving your time and energy to help the community grow and become better every single day. Any small or big action that you may input into the community, that's great. And then for the dancing part of the dance community, what does that mean? That means uplifting a beginner. That means making sure that people kind of feel welcome. Because if there aren't people who give back to the beginners, then people and communities can't grow.
Exactly. Like, it's like a growth mindset. Like, welcome people in who, because that's like the thing. I mean, we've talked about it before, where, you know, like, you never know how incredible they'll be until you dance with them and encourage them to keep going, because no one's the most amazing dancer their first night at an event, even after the lesson, whatever. Like, you know, you gotta, I guess, invest emotionally, encourage, you know, make them feel welcome so that they're ready to come back and take another lesson, and then, like, be impressed by their own improvement, and therefore want to be a part of the community, like, want it.
It's nuanced, because you can't always just act unselfishly. Some people only can dance once every couple months, or once in a blue moon. And when they come and they pay their money and they drive a long ways to get to an event, they want to get their cup filled. And how do they do that? They'll dance with their friends or dance with the great people.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine too. Because sometimes you need that to feel like you're getting something out of the community too.
Right.
So it's a balance.
Right. Okay. So taking it as, like, obviously there's always going to be room for you if you're going to take, you're like, I need this interaction. I need my homies to just dance with me, and just, like, to have an easy, like, you know, kind of brain dead time. But then maybe if you see yourself doing that, also be like, I'm feeling really good tonight. I think I should, like, meet somebody new and, like, make a new connection. Like, find the balance within yourself. Yeah.
Just like in life, like, sometimes are you selfish entirely during a day or an event? And then also, are you sometimes unselfish to the detriment of yourself sometimes during an event or a day? And it all depends upon your goals and your intention, and how much selfishness or unselfishness you're willing to give to others and yourself. And everyone has a different calibration, but at the same time, you have to make sure that your cup is getting filled too, or else you're not going to feel like you're getting your joy, your excitement, your satisfaction out of whatever community you're a part of.
So this was both the do and the don't. Like, we started by saying do's and don'ts, and it's literally do's and don'ts for, like, you're saying, like, it's both the one action almost of, like, do when you can to embrace and celebrate and uplift your community, and then, you know, the ick will happen every once in a while, but, like, there's a flip side to it, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I feel like the big do, or the big, like, wow, this is amazing. This is why I get up in the morning. This is why I spend hours, thousands, millions of hours of your life. I don't know how many lives or hours there are in our lives, but why do we spend so much time doing this specific activity? I think it's the excitement of the unknown and the creation of mind, body, music, and art.
Yeah.
It's very, very satisfying to, when you think about it, like, you're a dancer. What does that really mean? Like,
it means that you dance.
yeah. And it's kind of, it sounds very fancy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if we lived 200 years ago and I said you're a dancer, like, oh, that would be so amazing, because dancers probably have a lot of training and a lot of excess time to learn how to dance, because 200 years ago we just really needed to eat and survive and have shelter. But to be a dancer, wow.
Yeah.
But today, where
luxury.
a lot of our luxuries, yes, there's things happening in the economy right now, but we have the ability to have food and shelter and companionship and friendship, and we have enough information out there to learn about whatever we want to learn about, right? So we choose to be a dancer right now.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do we do that? Why do we spend thousands of hours dancing? I think it's because it hits so many different aspects of what it means to be human. It's movement, it's music, it's expression, it's communication. It's all the things that we talk about and I've talked about in the podcast, but it's all those things at once.
Yeah.
And it's very, very powerful. I know we're kind of like talking very big about it because we're biased.
Sure.
But I can't think of another activity that really hits all of these elements all at once.
Yeah. Honestly, like the music, the social, the physical, emotional. Yeah, you're right. I obviously agree with you, because it is something I spend a lot of hours doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, even when I'm like tired at the end of the week, I'm like, yeah, but if I go dancing, I'll feel more energized. Even though, like, I could fall asleep right now, I know I'll still be more energized after dancing. I don't know. It's
exactly.
a crazy, cool thing.
Exactly.
And like you were saying, it's different every time, which leads me into, are there any new interesting dance discoveries that you have like recently made?
Good question.
Yeah.
You're asking the tough questions today, which is great.
This is pointed because I think I know the answer, or I'm looking for a specific answer.
You want to answer for me first, and then I'll answer my answer.
Have you been, I don't know, learning a new style of dance lately?
Have I? I have been learning a new style of dance, but also these are styles of dance that I've been learning for years, where I only take a class once in a blue moon, once every other month. So I'm always trying to learn other dances, but I think the biggest discovery recently that I've really enjoyed is following and having the ability to have follower's voice, but uplifting the leader too.
Okay.
Where I feel like I'm not an accomplished, but a competent follower in various dance styles. And within the kind of structure of being a follow, I can play, I can influence, I can be expressive. And I like kind of being a part of that aspect of dancing. And it's affected my leading for sure, but also gets me excited about following a lot. So that's a big discovery that I've kind of unearthed in my dancing right now.
Like developing your switch skills. I'm trying to do it too. It is intimidating when you've spent so much time in one role to then move into the other role. And like, I don't know about you, but I almost feel like I do feel like I'm a beginner again when I take a class and I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna lead. Or when somebody asks me to lead or something and I'm like, I feel like I still have to like preface, be like, okay, I don't usually lead that much. You know, like, oh, I'm still new and stuff. But it makes me a better follow. And I've like found a love of leading, you know? Like, especially when it's somebody who's like just getting into it. I'm trying to like explain, you know, the dance to them. Like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's so exciting, you know, to be able to like guide them through a dance. And you know, I think you don't have to have both, but it's real cool if you do.
Yeah, there's a tendency as a lead to kind of do the patterns you know, do the moves that you know, and it can become kind of monotonous and repetitive. So to keep the dance fresh or keep dancing fresh, you want to learn new moves, or when you want to learn new patterns, which is exciting and great. But then also learning to follow it's an entire new mountain to climb, and that can be exciting too. So there are different ways to keep dancing fresh and challenging, and keep things on the side of you're always growing and you're always a beginner. You're always new at something.
Yes. I love being a beginner. I love being able to say, I'm new. But then too, after you're like, oh my God, I'm new, sorry. You know, then you can look back and be like, oh my God, I used to be new at this and now I know what I'm doing. That's crazy and so impressive.
You like being new because you can make mistakes and it's okay?
Yeah, it's
because when you're an expert, you're not allowed to make mistakes?
Which is not true. But yeah, right, there's that pressure where you're like, oh, I've been a follower in fusion dance for 10 years. Like, I should not be making mistakes, whatever. But then I'm like, well, I only lead every once in a while. I can mess up as much as I want.
Yeah.
Not really, but like, it's so much easier. Like, there are so many examples in my daily life, right, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I just love being able to say, sorry, I'm new. I'm getting this under control, and that's why I fell, you know? Like,
yeah.
But remember, you can fail whenever. It's not, you don't ever have to be perfect, especially in dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Like, one of my favorite leads, I was like dancing with them, I don't know, like a month or two ago. And it was literally like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this person's very experienced. They know what they're doing. I know we've danced together a million times and it's great. And then they tried a new move and it didn't work. And it was just like funny. And also, I don't know if they thought of it at all more than just being like, oh, that was a new move, didn't work. But then like, I've thought about it since then, being like, oh my gosh, if they can be like, new move, didn't work, move on. As an experienced dancer, as somebody who's led me effortlessly like so many times, like, oh yeah, like, I'm so glad that like they felt safe to try that out, and we both giggled about it and then like continued a wonderful dance, you know? Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, dancing kind of removes, hopefully, your ego out of it, where you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna fail in front of somebody, you're gonna fail, and it's gonna happen a lot, maybe over and over again, and it's humbling where, oh, maybe you won't get this move right the first time, but maybe on the 100th time, you'll get it, and it'll be that much more satisfying. So it takes repetition, it takes discipline, it takes time to get things quote unquote right, but it's satisfying when you find a way to execute what you envision and connecting your mind and your body's output to what you think you want to do is exciting, and it's a great way to train your body and your mind to do things you envision. And it happens in dance, but also beyond dance too.
Yeah, I love that. So I was like poking and prying because I know personally that you've been doing a lot of line dancing lately. Now, would you consider that a partner dance? Because usually you're in a line with other people, however, not touching anyone. But this is a type of dance that I personally am like not experienced in, don't know much about. Tell me about it.
So I've been doing line dancing, country line dancing, for like 2 months.
Yeehaw.
And it's basically people dancing a certain routine or a choreography to a certain song, and you can take classes, you can learn online, you can watch YouTube videos, and you're dancing a pattern with a group of people. You're not necessarily touching or connecting with a partner, but you're dancing with other people.
Yeah.
So it's a different experience for sure. But I also feel like, just like with partner dancing, because you're doing with other people, the energy is different.
Yeah.
You're kind of like dancing with them, but not really. So you wanna, if you're a beginner, then it's low pressure, you're just watching them, you can just, mess up whenever you want to. But if you're really dedicated and you wanna show what you got, you wanna impress, you wanna be able to say, hey, I took the time to learn this specific dance, and I can do the move, and I can do the styling, and I can do it when there's lights in my face and cameras out, and I don't look stressed at all. So for me, it's a great way to exercise, utilize my hand-eye coordination, my musicality. The music's great. It's more than just country songs, which I thought was the case. But the community's great, and I think ultimately, you may disagree, people like dressing up like a cowboy. And they like being a part of a theme where they can be a part of a community that also likes the theme.
Yeah.
And have a different diversion during the night.
Okay, I don't like country music, okay? It's just my thing. Like, that's my ick. I don't like country music. I'm sorry, I try. I love, like, kind of Americana bluesy type of stuff. But country music does give me the ick, and it, for multiple reasons. I'll let you guess. I don't hate the dress-up thing. I think that it's cute and fun. I do have a pair of cowgirl boots, which is my segue. So you got cowboy boots?
No, I don't have them yet.
You don't have cowboy boots because you are an avid dance shoe person, right?
Yeah.
This is a thing I don't believe often talked about on the pod, but dance shoes when out dancing is a whole thing. People have shoes or they don't. The type of shoe, when I'm preparing for a dance event, I'm not a dance shoe person, I'm a sock person. But I think about it where I'm like, I do have dance shoes, I could do it. What if I got some new dance shoes? It's always on my mind. You show up to events, sit down, change your shoes, dance, change your shoes, leave. Yet no cowboy boots.
I haven't found the right ones yet.
Okay.
I don't know how fancy I want to get with my boots.
Okay.
Because the more fancy, the more it seems like you know what you're doing. I'm just a newbie. So maybe when I get more accustomed and more confident in my line dancing, I will be all out with the spurs and the designs.
That's so crazy. So you feel like not wearing the boots is like a signaling like I'm a beginner, like let's
I've also haven't found the right boots yet either. There's so many options.
True.
But to your point about dance shoes, shoes are important, where you want to have shoes that are slippery enough where you can pivot and slide and not hurt your ankles or your knees, because those are important to keep
Very
healthy.
important stuff.
People will dance in socks or in dance socks specifically to make sure that they're able to pivot and slide and spin.
Yeah.
But
it's got to be the right socks.
yeah, socks you don't care about that get dirty, or
It's got to be the right thickness and the right grip, you know what I mean? Like, I do put thought into my socks that I choose.
Yeah. So dance shoes are important, but also I think the average person who is just starting out, they can just wear shoes that have leather or suede on the bottom, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be dance specific. But I think once you're kind of obsessed like we are, being cognizant about investing in your feet and investing in a good pair of shoes would be great. That's just my opinion.
So, you said you started in San Francisco. Have you been a dancer in other cities? Have you danced in like other cities? I know you've lived in other cities. Were you a dancer other places?
I wasn't a full-time dancer in other cities, but I lived in New York and I visited Tokyo for a hot second, and I danced at those places. I wasn't necessarily a full-time dancer, so I surveyed some classes and went to socials. Didn't really know what I was doing, but it was really exciting to kind of stretch myself and exercise my dance skills at those places. So that was really exciting. But then in terms of like being a dancer at other places, recently visited Portland for a festival, and that was exciting.
Rose City.
Yeah, that was exciting. And just seeing and dancing and being around a venue that you don't know and being a fish out of water in a certain sense, and seeing how other people's like to dance and other different DJs who have a different DJ sensibility is exciting. So there are more places that I want to go, but it's always interesting and unique to kind of see how other dance communities dance their specific dance.
So what do you think is like, what have you noticed about that? Like specifically, like, okay, you could even just go LA, San Francisco, dabble in some of, Portland and Tokyo and everything. Like, what do you think is different?
In terms of the people, the music, the vibe?
I guess all of the above. Like, what do you catch from that, that vibe? Like, what makes it different?
These are generalizations, but I feel like for LA, we like to be big and showcase fancy movements and tricks and dips and things for the camera, things for the spotlight. And for other places, like the more north you go, San Francisco or Seattle, for example, they're more connection-based, more nuanced, more kind of non-performative. This is like LA is, I feel.
Okay.
But
LA,
that also, go ahead.
Oh, I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, you're right. In LA, a lot of people like to have their cameras out and their phones, and they like to record themselves. And I know a lot of them are like, oh, it's for me to like look back and see and grow, but it's also to show your skills and everything. Yeah, it's like a huge thing, which is fun and very exciting, and it definitely like brings you into a different mindset. But there's like benefits, I think, to that and to just being there with the other person. Do you have like a favorite city you like danced in?
It's a good question. San Francisco's nice.
Yeah.
They have a lot of dancers. They have a lot of great venues, whether they're big or small. But I feel like I like events or venues that kind of are focused on connection versus showmanship and performative aspects. It's really a skill to connect with somebody, especially if they're of a different skill level than you, or you don't know who they are, and to have that ability to connect and be intentional and listen and respond to somebody else is a skill to have. So I'd say biasly, San Francisco is a great place to dance. LA is a great place to dance too, but just these are generalizations, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
It all depends on what your mood is, what you're feeling.
Okay. Yeah. So it can like give and take. You're like sometimes I'm like, oh man, I just crave that sort of like melty little just us type of like house party vibe almost of I guess like the more northern type of dancers. But then I don't know, for me personally, sometimes I'm like, I'll get a little bit nervous when somebody has their phone out and they'll be like, hey, do you want to like go and do it? And I'm like, oh, but then it's a different skill, right? You're like, okay, now it's like, how do I connect while being mindful of
the camera? Are you dancing differently because the camera's there?
Yeah.
Are you being yourself, or are you being more performative? And nothing is bad or wrong about it. It's just how the camera affects you.
Yeah. And learning that is like a really weird, because like I haven't yet been the person to be like, oh, let me sit on my phone. But so many times I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that recorded because it was so cool. And then, other times I'll like, get on camera with somebody and I'll be like, oh man, I ruined their beautiful video. No.
So you like the spotlight. You're a performer by nature.
Yes.
But at the same time, the camera affects you, and you perform better when there's not a camera.
Sometimes I do think that like that little bit of added pressure keeps me a bit more on my toes, a little more aware. Like the tips of my fingertips to the tips of my toes, But yeah, there's times I'm like, I love the like, say you're in like a small room dancing at like a little house party with your friends, like, and no one else is, around, or like the lights are really low and you're just like so in it with that other person. I'm like, oh, I love this, and I feel like I'm so locked in that way. So yeah, it's like different skills for different times. Yeah.
Maybe you're accustomed to being in the spotlight, so it doesn't affect you as much, but you're still aware of it.
Yes, always aware. And then sometimes it's nice to be like so unaware. Yeah. Do you have any, now that we're talking about like how we are in these, dance spaces, do you have any embarrassing dance stories?
Embarrassing dance stories?
Yeah.
Yes, several. Not to get too specific to save the innocent from being called out necessarily. I have farted during dances. I'm not proud of it, but it happens. It's human nature. I'm sure everyone has farted during dances.
Everyone has farted.
But I have a certain tactic where I will move from the space that the fart occurred to kind of save the partnership from enduring the outcome of the fart.
So you have like a
strategy.
A strategy to handle
Yeah, I've done this several times. There was a tragic moment where I was dancing Lindy Hop with somebody, and my partner slipped. It wasn't my fault necessarily, and she's fine now, but she slipped and she broke her ankle while dancing with me. And it was a little bit traumatic for me.
Yeah.
Definitely an event that I won't ever forget. But it was sad, and I was kind of terrified that it was my fault, and I wish I didn't do the move that made the slip happen. But she was really, really nice about it, and she didn't blame me. So I have that on my resume that will never go away.
God. Was it hard to start dancing after that? Did you have like?
Yeah, I took a break after that for a bit, but if you dance long enough, you'll have embarrassing moments or sequences of events that you wish didn't happen.
Yeah.
I've never dropped anybody, which is great.
I've been dropped.
I've been dropped too.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. As a follow. It happens. It happens, but it's just part of the nature of dancing, where someone's high heel will hit your foot, or you'll have a certain partner, like you'll have someone else bump you. You'll have people who are disrespectful to you, where they like dance with you but like not really want to dance with you, and they're like checked out. So there are a lot of things that will happen when you're dancing, but that's just part of the nature of dancing.
Yeah, there's like a risk, you know, you got to take the risk and deal with it as it comes, but most of the time that's not the case. So it's like very much so like, I'm sorry that happened to you, because I know that must be like a little bit traumatic, and then it's hard to get back into it. But yeah. So I was thinking about asking you this later, but I mean, just because since this got brought up, you know, what's like the greatest skill, like life skill or dance skill, whatever, that like your dance life has taught you? What is it? Because like obviously having those ups and lows has taught you some things that, like you said, like you think about it often, you carry it with you, you won't forget. Yeah. Like,
I think dancing has affected my life in other ways, in terms of being improvisational and being able to kind of go with the flow and be malleable to how you get to a destination.
yeah.
And it may not be the way you envision, but you'll get there nonetheless. So in terms of dancing, you're always calibrating your skill level with their skill level, and their intention with your intention, and it's a negotiation that's happening in real time, every second of every moment of every beat of that song. So you're communicating, listening and responding and saying something at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a really specific skill that you're learning when you're social dancing. So because I've done it for a while now, I think I'm able to kind of communicate better with people, hopefully.
Yeah.
Where I can come into a situation, whether it's stressful or not, or whether I know the context or not.
Yeah. Take them in where they are and like go with them through a journey, whether that's like a conversation or a dance conversation or an activity or whatever. I think that's really so true, because the dance thing, right, allows you to like take in a sort of like lead, follow, or switch type of relationship almost immediately, just going off of vibes, you know, like body language and a little bit of like audible language, and like get to know somebody on like such a crazy level. Yeah, it's like so useful in all sorts of aspects of life.
Go with the flow and improvise with somebody.
Yeah, be able to improvise as much as possible. So you are an avid dancer, organizer, teacher, student. Do you have any other creative outlets? Maybe dance is in there in some way, maybe it's not, but do you have like other like artistry that you like?
I really love movies.
Yeah.
Movies are basically the campfire stories that we collectively consume and evaluate in terms of how our society views specific concepts and themes and morality.
Yeah.
And I work in the movie industry, and I feel like movies are something that people can enjoy whether they know the language or not, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I feel like, getting back to dance a little bit, like you can tell a story with your dancing too. You can kind of showcase how you're feeling without using your words, using your body to influence and convey how you're feeling. And someone on the other end, your partner, can respond to that. They can respond and kind of reflect what you're doing, or amplify or deflect and change it into a new direction. So I think what I'm really gravitating toward is the storytelling aspect of movement and people just being consumed with showcasing how they're feeling in the moment, what they want to say. And sometimes it's like, oh, I just want to have fun, and I'm gonna move or tell a story visually with the words or with their body about how I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Some people are angry and want to get their anger out and want to deflect and transfer their anger outwards to somewhere else so they're not angry anymore.
Yeah.
Some people are sad and want to find a place to be sad in a comfortable environment with other people who can absorb the sadness. So I think dancing, as well as filmmaking or movie making, can allow you to be a part of a community of other people who are willing to respond and accept and absorb how you're feeling and respond back to the author or the curator or the dancer.
Yeah.
That may or may not be the specific reasons why we dance, to communicate feelings and observations, but hopefully people feel artistically satisfied
Yeah.
when they do dance.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
For some, it's not necessarily an art. It's just an exercise of finding a way to dance, to exercise and move their body.
Yeah.
Some people don't think dancing is an art for them. It's just a hobby. It's just a diversion. It's just a thing that they do.
Right.
But some people also feel like it's super sacred and super special and specific to them. So luckily, movies like dance, they can be whatever you want it to be.
I love that. No, I definitely personally consider dance an art, but yeah, I guess I would also consider it like a hobby, you know, like I do it because I like to do it, not necessarily because it like serves a purpose other than like, you know, my personal joy and satisfaction. Do you have, for the fans, do you have hobbies outside of dance? What's like your hobby outside of dance? What do you do?
I love sports, so I love to play tennis. I love basketball. I play when I can.
Oh, okay.
I eventually want to learn how to play volleyball and learn to swim and kayak and be a little bit more adventurous. I have a fascination to be better at filmmaking and creating content and taking photography and videos and get better at that slowly but surely.
Yeah.
I want to create a short film one day and find a way to execute that on a budget and see that through. I want to be able to travel more and see more of the country and other countries too. I think for me, I'm a curious person, so I love being exposed to different people and different environments that I'm not necessarily accustomed to. And I think dance kind of scratches that itch in a lot of ways where I meet people who aren't necessarily like me, who don't have the same experience like me. And it's all in my same city that I'm living in. So I think because dance allows me to meet people who are friends and strangers, it's a great way to kind of scratch that itch of being comfortable seeing familiar faces, but also seeing people who are not like me and who can share their life story and expose me to new experiences.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of a tool almost.
Yeah.
To like expand your horizons.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have all this dance world and dance experience. If there was a ladder for your career or your life in dance, what would the next step be?
It's a good question. So I'm already a local teacher and a local DJ and an organizer, which is amazing, and I love it, and it's very fulfilling. Maybe it would be, I'm not sure yet, but maybe it would be finding a partner in a specific dance to train and to get really expert at that specific dance. I don't know what that dance would be. And maybe to become a national teacher or teach beyond just LA specifically. If I don't meet that goal, it's fine, but that's the natural progression of where I'm heading at. I don't know though, I like being good at a lot of dances, but not necessarily being expert at one.
Jack of all trades.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's what I am right now.
Okay. So next step on the ladder would be master of one.
Yeah.
And be able to like use that mastery in a more widespread capacity.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I'm either at the point where I'm like, to be a master of a specific dance, you would probably teach and give back and showcase and share your knowledge with other people. I feel like that's the evolution of dancing, where you give back and you become a person who is championing and shepherding new dancers to love the dance that you love, and that's just the natural evolution of things.
To reel in the next generation. Oh man, that's very full circle, very deep. Well, I think you're gonna do it. You've already accomplished so much in like the dance capacity, like be it so local yet so impactful, you know, as not only like an instructor who has helped people learn how to dance, you've also given them the space to dance and dance freely and safely in a very like joyous community. And you know, you're sharing your love of dance and your passion for dance more widely spread with this podcast even, you know, like reaching other people who are maybe just curious about it. I think if that's what you want to do, you'll do it for sure. And like me and everyone else who watch religiously the Dance Brain will be very excited to see how that journey progresses and where it takes you.
Amber's my agent, so I paid her to say that.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, I don't get paid. Do you have any hot takes to take us out of this? What's your hot take?
Hot takes. That's a really good question.
Very broad.
Very broad. I do have hot takes.
What's your hot take?
Let me think about what my hot take would be.
It doesn't even have to be related to dance. At this point, I'll take any hot take. I don't even care. I just want it to be piping hot.
I know, hot take.
Let it out, Jason.
I know.
I know you're thinking of something.
No. My hot take is, I feel like people are too obsessed about editing themselves so that they don't necessarily showcase who they truly are because they can edit themselves. So for example, we love to communicate via text or email where we can edit, find the specific word that's perfect for the word that they want to convey, but maybe that specific word isn't what they really mean, but it's the word that they choose so they can sound better
or they
be perceived as more politically correct, or is a word that makes them feel more elevated or more consumable.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all trying to be the best version of themselves, but for other people.
Be the best version of yourself for other people is a very strong statement.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of self-help out there that's very vocal, that it's like you need to be the best for yourself, you know. But we've been talking about community all night. It's a weird balance, right? Like of I want to be my best for myself so that I like me and I am authentic, genuine, all that type of stuff. But there is so much society everywhere, and within that society we are choosing community and we want to be our best versions of ourselves for them. So I would say yes, in the ways that is like we are preparing ourselves to be the best for other people. It can be so good, but don't do it at the expense of your genuine personality and like your genuine like thoughts and cares and feelings, because like both are so valuable. Like the loving expression of yourself that you want to give to others, but hold on to the like anchor that is like your genuine self, you know?
Yeah. I feel like nowadays we're not allowed to share what we truly feel because the recourse of how your perceived point of view may not be received well. I feel like there aren't enough spaces to have civilized, mature debates about topics that are controversial, dialogues with people who we don't agree with.
Yeah.
But that's a bigger societal thing that exists where you and I may not be able to solve those things on a pod.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
But in terms of dancing hot takes,
Yeah.
I guess my hot take is your dance ability doesn't necessarily equate to your status as a human. So just because you're a good dancer doesn't mean you should think that people should treat you differently. Hopefully you're still a good human being.
Yes.
Regardless of what dance level you are. For better or worse, people who are better dancers are treated differently. So they can get away with bad behavior or being a little bit more selfish. But when you're a better dancer, it's inherent where you should hopefully be a good example to the community. I know it's hard to put that mantle on yourself where you have to think about other people once you're on top of the mountain, but there's a responsibility that happens when you are a scene leader, you're a teacher, you're a DJ, you're an organizer, where you have to set a good example. Because if you don't set the good example, who will?
Yeah.
There's a responsibility when you have more power. I know the Spider-Man quote is very corny.
Going back to the superhero stuff with green power.
But it makes sense where, like, you don't let the children decide the rules of the school or the courtyard or the society. The adults should. And when you are an adult, you have the responsibility to think about yourself, but also about others.
Your hot take is the responsibility, you know, to grow your community is part of being a dancer.
Yeah. The more status or the more you feel you're getting from the dance, you should probably think about ways of giving back.
I love that. That was perfectly said. Well, that was a very exciting, like, hour or whatever episode where we got to know you, our benevolent real host, for, you know, so many episodes so far. Well, Jason, I've absolutely loved getting to know you better. I'm sure that all of your listeners are also excited to hear more from you and your specific experience, because you have so much experience to be shared with other people who are invested in this community, in this style of self-expression that we like to call partner dancing. Was there anything that I should have asked you that you were hoping that I would ask you that I didn't ask you? No, I did a great job.
You did a great job. You asked questions that kept me on my toes. I wasn't prepared for any of these questions, so you did a great job. You didn't ask what I love about partner dancing.
Yeah, because you ask everyone that.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you want to tell the people what you love about partner dance?
No, it's okay.
I feel like you kind of hit it a few times.
Yeah, you did. I did. Yeah.
Sum it up real quick as a last remark. What do you love about partner dance? Try to one-word it.
I love being able to play with people. Partner dancing is very playful. It can be playful, but for me, I love being able to play with my partner in terms of finding ways to explore movement and finding ways to signal and convey certain moods and emotions with my movement within the structure of the specific dance that I'm doing. So play is kind of a big thing of why I love dancing.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. We love to be silly and have a good time. Mm-hmm.
Do you love to play, Amber?
I love to play. I'm a nanny. I play all day. Anyways, you can cut that out. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
We will see you on the next episode of The Dance Brain. It's empty.
It's empty.
It's empty.